Three rules. It's 1996, summer, and I have three rules that my parents are trying to instill in all of us. Rule one, spend your money wisely. Now that's 10% donated immediately. Donate $10, 10% of whatever you make to those in need. 10% goes directly into savings. Then you get to spend money on what you need, those necessities, food, water, shelter, those things. And after all that's done, you can spend money on the things that you want. My parents are pretty good at this. Rule two, enjoy what you do and the money will come. So, my parents, they're hardworking hustlers. Anyone who knows them knows this. When we go to school, my dad goes to work. When we get home from school, my dad will come home from work and spend time with us. And when we go to sleep, my dad, he goes to school. He starts off as a mechanic and he's worked his way all the way up to running the transportation at ADOT, Arizona Department of Transportation. Now, my mom, she goes to work when we go to sleep. She goes to sleep when we go to school, and she is home to help us with anything we need when we get home. That's just weekdays, though. On the weekends, my parents, they're flipping houses, they're realtors, they're wedding photographers. My parents have had enough time during all that chaos to make a beautiful garden out front that they take a lot of pride in. They like people seeing a nice yard. Uh, Rule number three, not my favorite rule. Never pay someone for what you can do yourself. I'm 8 years old. I don't understand this rule, and I don't like this rule. We live in Phoenix. If it's 108 outside and the car needs to be fixed, it makes sense to send it to the mechanic. But my dad started the mechanic, so we'll just do it ourselves, right? Doesn't matter about the third-degree burn on our back. If trees need to be trimmed in the backyard, I think as an 8-year-old, we should just go ahead and pay someone to do that. But my parents think that we should do it ourselves. Like I said, not really my favorite rule. Now, each of my brothers, my two older brothers, my younger sister, and I, we all have chores around the house. And mine is garbage. After the garbage, getting our room done, cleaned up, and the dishes done, my parents have given each of us opportunities to make money on our own. So my mom says, "Hey, I'll give you $5 to go outside, mow the lawn, clean up the clippings, throw them in the mulch pile." $5? That's easy money, right? Done, sold. She goes, "Hey, Joseph, I'll give you $10 to go to the bird aviary, clean out the bird aviary, give them food, water, make sure their bird houses are clean. We've got parakeets. That needs to be done." That's a tough job, though. There's a lot of parakeets. You get pooped on a lot. But $10? I mean, I can't pass that up. Are you crazy? Absolutely, I will do that. Joseph, listen, come here. It's a hard. Out front, there's a palm tree in my garden. It's growing. I will give you $15 to go out front, dig it up, get rid of it. $15. Are you serious? Now, quick side fact that I know palm trees, they can withstand up to 80-mile winds. That's because the roots are deep, they're strong, and they don't fall over. And this is a fact that I also know as an 8-year-old. But for $15, I'll pass. No way. That's just too much work for too little money. But I've already made $15 from the other thing. And for an 8-year-old in the 90s, that's a small fortune. Now I think I've got the money. I've got to think of the rules my parents have been teaching me. Spend your money wisely. I'm going to be honest with you. I may have given $1 at church. Savings were non-existent for me. That definitely was never in my mind, unfortunately. And necessities, though, I took that very seriously. And I'm thinking myself as an 8-year-old, I have necessities, and I'm going to spend my money wisely on those necessities. And so what I did, what any 8-year-old would do, is I bought Pokemon cards because I needed them, right? I mean, as an 8-year-old, have you seen Pikachu? He's awesome. He or she, I don't know. I watched the show. It's brand new. I want him. So yes, I spent my money on Pokemon cards. But the money runs out occasionally. And some kids, like my neighbors, they use that catchphrase, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. They take that very seriously. My neighbors actually have made lemonade and sold it on the side of the road. My brother, sister, and I, we don't have a lemon tree. We do have that palm tree my mom talked to me, but I don't know anything about pomade, and it sounds disgusting. but we need more money. So we look to the palm tree and we do what any reasonable kid would do. We go over there and we dig up my mom's garden instead of the palm tree. And we sell the plants on the side of the road. Now, this is kind of a niche market, I know, and it's extremely niche because we live in the middle cul-de-sac. So we get about 3 visitors that day, and they're all my neighbors. But it doesn't matter. We're having fun. I'm showing off my Pokemon cards. We're playing Pogs. We're brothers and sisters, hanging out and talking. We're loving what we're doing. And that's when rule 2 really comes to light. Enjoy what you do, and the money will come. And the black Lexus pulls up, and the tinted windows roll down. And a couple, an elderly couple, look at us. You guys selling plants? Yes, sir. This pink one's 50 cents. This orange one here is 75 cents. And the man points over to the garden. Says, that palm tree, is that for sale? He takes out a $50 bill. I'm going to give you $50 to dig up that palm tree. And I'm going to come back for it later today. $50? Are you kidding? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not even going to ask my parents. So my brothers and sister, we go out there and we dig. And guess what? That fact about palm tree roots is true. We dug for hours, but we got that palm tree up. Finally got it up. We put it in a bag and we set it on the side of the road and we waited for them. They did not come back that night. They did not come back the next day. They didn't come back at all over 3 days until the palm tree died. And we threw away the palm tree. But we still have that $50. I've got to say, my mom, she was thrilled. She asked us to dig up that palm tree, countless times throughout the years. As it grew bigger and bigger, our fault. But she only wanted to give me $15 for digging up the palm tree, and I just earned $50. And I'm no math whiz, but let's see here. $50 divided by 4, minus the fact that I'm third child, I made $10. That's great money, right? This time I'm going to do a wiser choice with my money. I'm not going to make foolish decisions this time. So this time I bought more Pokemon cards. Yeah, I totally did. I'm 8, right? I just want them so badly. Now I'm an adult though, and I'm gonna be quite honest. I have a lot of the things my parents have. I have a beautiful family, 2 kids that I love, my beautiful wife. We have a beautiful garden out in the back. We have, oh my goodness, I have a palm tree out front, for goodness sakes. And I think about the rules that my parents taught me as I grew up. My wife and I, we take rules pretty seriously. I mean, in our own ways. She doesn't know the rules my parents taught me, but we spend our money wisely. We donate, we put in savings. And rule number 2, we do it with joy. I'm a carpenter full time, but I still have those Pokemon cards that I enjoyed just so much when I was a kid. And rule 1 and 2 really paid off because I spent my money wisely on Pokemon cards and I enjoyed them so much. And now I sell them on the side. And I'm going to be honest, it was probably one of my better investments. Pikachu, worth way more nowadays, which is great. But I keep thinking about rule number 3. I didn't like that. Like I said, somehow though, my wife, she's asked me to trim up the tree in our backyard, and somehow that rule has really settled in with me. And so when she asked me to trim up the tree in the backyard, I worked extremely hard to try to get someone else to trim it up because there's just some things that I don't want to do. I am not my parents, though sometimes I wish I were, but I'm still working on getting someone to trim that up. So if you know anyone, but you know what? That rule has really affected me. And I look to the palm tree in my front yard and I see my kids and I think how I wish that one day I can show them those rules. And you know what? I know that my parents growing up actually paid people to do jobs, even though we never saw it. For instance, that day that we were digging up the palm tree that my mom had asked so many times for us to dig up, my parents hired someone that day to come over and pay us kids to dig up the palm tree that they had asked us to dig up. Thinking we got hustled. Like, what? But they weren't paying for us to dig up a palm tree. Though an added bonus, my parents were paying for us to learn the love of the hustle, the art of hustle. And nowadays, my brother's sister and I, we all have our own side hustle. I write children's books. I sell Pokemon cards. I, I make comic books. I do a lot of things that I love and I enjoy. And I look to that palm tree out in my front yard and my children, I think maybe one day they'll realize that I have a lemon tree in my backyard and that they should never dig up that palm tree. And that's how I learned the art of hustle. So thank you.